20-7 Washington State on Miami. Started the third quarter here in El Paso. Moments ago, Allie LaFour spoke with Miami interim head coach Larry Scott.
Coach, 6 penalties were very costly in that first half. How did you address those at the half?
We just got to clean it up. We got to play smarter football. I love the physicality and the speed we're playing with. We just got to play smarter. And that's the big thing, and that's what's going to take this second half. Smart, fast, physical football.
Hey, a lot of these players have never seen snow before in their life. Does this weather affect your game plan at all?
Not at all. Not at all. We just got to play our style of football.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Larry Scott has talked about how the number one message he wants to instill to his team and his time as the interim head coach is you have to respond to adversity. And they've been through their fair share. Yeah, it's snowy and cold the day after
Deal
Christmas.
with it, right?
Yeah.
Deal with it. Came here to play football.
Eric Powell, who had the field goal just before the half to put Washington State up 20-7. Short kick. Walden grabs it at the 5. Walden across the 25.
He's an exciting football player, isn't he?
Across the 35-yard line for the true freshman Walton. And, well, if we didn't, point it out already, yes, it is snowy and chilly here the day after Christmas.
I'm not feeling any colder, really, to tell you the truth. Still feels kind of nice to me.
Yeah, nice, balmy
I'm
sun.
dealing with it. I'm really just dealing with it in my own way.
And how about the fact that Miami was 5 years ago, snow, a little bit of a different environment, but it gets
I'm
Notre
blaming
Dame.
this on you.
And
it
now
snowed
here the
last
Canes.
year.
Right.
You were here. It snowed this year. It's definitely you. I think the message is right, though, from Coach Scott. Play ball, right? I mean, nobody's going to back down.
And you know who's laughing the hardest right now?
Yeah, it's Vernie.
Yeah, exactly right.
He's got a little Pinot, a fire. He might not even be watching.
Wishing Vern our best. Yerby's written out of bounds near the 50-yard line. So the first half
we
stretch.
teed it up with the quarterbacks, Carter, and Luke Falk did what he does. I mean, he's going to throw for close to 400 yards, and he's on track. Brad started out better, had the drop, though. That drop touchdown pass turned into an interception, and the finish, the late finish by Washington State, and as Allie talked to Coach Scott, the penalties at the end of the half especially were huge. I think Miami has to clean up their punting game, too, by the way.
23 and a 27. Play action. Kaya on the rollout. Heaves it to the sideline. Incomplete with Pallur applying the pressure.
Well, you could see that the way the game started out, Miami was in control of the football game, throwing the ball. But it seems to me that the Washington State defensive line has been putting more pressure on him as the game is worn on, and that's why they rolled him out to try to throw the ball.
And you're not surprised by that, the Washington State pressure?
Not at all. I said when I turned on the tape, I kind of thought I knew what I'd find, the passing game. I did not expect this active and athletic a front four.
Low snap, Berrios takes it. It was the Wildcat look with Yerby taking the snap and then handing off on the sweep to Berrios.
And as you look at where Brad Kaya threw the football, it started off good for him. A lot of throws to the right, little short throws. He had a couple deep balls. I think the drop pass in the end zone, good play on defense, yes, but that's a huge play. That's a big play in this football game.
Turned into the interception after the quarterback started out dueling. And there is Walton to the outside, slipping away, finally dragged down.
Late flag again, though.
31.
Look,
Mataafa finally makes a stop.
Thrown inside, and unless it's one of those hands to the face, the Miami team may be backing up.
Indeed. Obviously a problem with the referee, Jerry McGinn's microphone, but the 7th penalty against the Canes.
Yeah, Stanges Dobar, number 5, it looks like is making the play from behind and grabs on the play. It's on Pallur. Yes, see that? He grabs Pallur on the play, and that's a good call. He just went into halftime, did Coach Scott, and said we can't make those plays. And by the way, that is one area where the cold can kind of get to you. When I've been playing a lot of ball is you get a little lazy. You start feeling sorry for yourself, and you just don't take the proper footwork. You want to make your block, and you do it kind of
halfway.
Yeah. I was going to use my normal phrase, but it won't work.
Screen on 3rd down. to the 47 for Rashawn Scott.
Interesting call here. The way they're punting the ball, do you just go for it? No, they're going to punt it.
Well, the wind factors in on the punting decision as well. So, and we told you, I mean, it was a crisp, sunny morning when you come over to the Sun Bowl, and then right before kickoff. So it was kickoff was at 12 Mountain Time. So you see it starts to go down, and then the rain and the snow starts rolling in. I mean, I think it got colder during halftime.
Did for me.
Vogel, who has struggled so far for Miami, gets off.
Nice end-over-ender there right there.
Awesome. Grabs it inside the 10. Wrestled down as soon as he grabs it. So Fossum brought down, and Washington State with a 20-7 lead. So Miami unable to put points on the board on their opening drive. Snowflakes in the Sun Bowl day after Christmas. Morrow turns the corner, takes it inside the 10. Touchdown, Washington State. Kaya delivers, touchdown, Canes. Falk, time to throw once more. Got it in the end zone, touchdown. 20-7 now, Washington State on Miami in the 82nd Sun Bowl. Tonight, Carter Blackburn, Gary Danielson, Allie LaForce back from El Paso. 1st and 10. Falk delivers to Wicks.
It's a very odd game. You don't see this very often. Teams that are ranked near the bottom of the country. Miami, 119 yards a game. Washington State combined less than 233 teams. And by the way, Carter, I gave you this quiz. I'm not going to give it to everybody else. 3 out of the 4 teams in the championship playoffs as a team each rushed for over 200. Which team doesn't? Is an interesting one.
I know the answer only because you gave it to me, because Wicks is dropped there.
Yeah. Which team does not run for 200 yards a game?
That's it's the traditional running football league.
Michigan State does not run for 200 yards a game. The other 3 do. Really hard, I think, in modern football to not run for 150 yards as a team and really have a winning record. That's what's odd about these 2 teams right here. Washington
State first passing offense in college football, last rushing. That's per game. So to the air in the air raid, Dom Williams hauls it in around Howard.
Yeah, usually that we would look out there and wonder when are they going to go to this deep matchup, and finally gets it the deep ball down the sideline. Fault to Williams, perfectly thrown. Decent coverage, but when you're that good at throwing the football like that, you have to get completions, and he did.
Screen incomplete, intended for Marks, and somehow messed that one up.
The quick passes seem to be harder than the downfield throws. You look at, we saw Brad Kaya, now here's Luke Falk. Kind of a typical passing chart for a Washington State quarterback. They throw a lot of balls, 10 yards and under. They force the defense to move up, and then they gouge you deep with the throws in between. Part of the running attack for State is their passing attack.
2nd down, pressure coming. Play to the outside, screen the other way. This is Priester, a sophomore from St. Petersburg, who's been his freshman year at Clemson.
So we talk about Washington State running the ball a lot, but when they do it, they're effective. Look at that. They're 117th ranked, which is dead last in college football, but they do a good job when they dial it up at 13th.
And you think that's such the difference between a losing team last year, winning this year?
And 4 come-from-behind wins help too, by the way.
Slant caught. Lewis hauls it in. 1st down, Cougars.
You have a quarterback that produces 3 last-second wins, also makes up for that stat differential. You know, here it is again. He has time to load it up and throw it accurately. He does a good job of it. When he tries those quick throws, it appears that the weather is bothering him.
1st and 10, pressure, they sack him back at the 49. It's Tyreek McCord coming on the blitz.
Well, you'll see Muhammad, Harris, and McCord all come from different angles to make the play. I think he's right there. Yes, he steps inside. He's lined up as an outside linebacker, but he comes in and forces a tough block inside right through, as Carter told you, Gerard Wicks.
For the senior from Tampa's Jefferson High School. Loss of 10, 2nd and 20. Vaughn dancing at the 45. Completes it to the outside for Williams. Wrestled down near the 40. Burns and Jawan Young.
Here's the tough thing if you're Mark D'Onofrio, the defensive coordinator for Miami right now. With where the ball is and down in distance, you almost have to call your defense assuming they're going to go for it on 4th down. So you're not trying to stop them on 3rd down. If you give them any more than 2 or 3 yards, they're going to go for it on you.
Talked to D'Onofrio about the challenges, the unique challenges of the Mike Leach offense. Not one of them.
I covered Mark when he played linebacker at Penn State.
5th season defensive coordinator for the Canes. Those coaches not sure what the future holds. Ball pressured again. Incomplete, but he got rid of the football intended for Priester. Chad Thomas gets on Luke Falk.
And this is exactly what Mark D'Onofrio told us is what is so key about going up as a pass rusher is, he said, never pull the plug on the pass rush. If you're stopped and you're stymied, don't stand there and start sticking your arms up and trying to knock down a pass. Continue to rush because Luke Falk will hold the ball and you have to make things uncomfortable for him in the pocket.
And no surprise, Falk and the offense out there for 4th and 9 from the 40. Time to throw. Incomplete. Almost picks, but a 4th down stop by the Miami defense. Deion Bush nearly got his 2nd takeaway.
Well, I tell you, Deion Bush reads these plays about as good as I've seen anyone. Middle of the field, he's reading the quarterback, and he saw the crossing route, and he just guessed it, and he guessed right. He really was playing the 1st and 10 marker as well.
So the defense is stepping up to begin the 3rd quarter in El Paso.
My name is Brad Kaya, University of Miami. My favorite holiday tradition is when I was younger, my dad and my uncle, they take bricks and logs and throw them on the roof and you know, scream ho 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 and make me think that Santa Claus was delivering presents. And I'd wake up the next morning, check the front door, and there'd be a pile of gifts there.
Our pal Aaron Taylor pulled a pretty good one too. You can dig that one up if you want online. But 20-7 Washington State here on Miami. By the way, our producer Craig Silver, the Sun Bowl legend, 25 Sun Bowls now. Our director Steve Milton, 15 years directing the Sun Bowl here in El Paso. Miami takes over at the 40. Not much there. Over the years, 60 Minutes has reported a lot of mob stories. Watch some of the most memorable on a special edition of 60 Minutes tomorrow, only CBS. Miami, the touchdown to get it started, and they have not scored since that opening drive.
Yeah, the second one's a tough one. You know, that we've talked about it a few times, but keep plugging away. You know, the 4th down thing is the double-edged sword. I mean, look where the ball is now for Washington State. A lot of good things, but a lot of bad things can happen.
Kaya downfield incomplete, intended for Njoku, the versatile tight end.
I think it's Jeremiah Allison is the guy that actually puts the last bit of defense that forced that throw just a little bit higher on the wing, and it was Allison. He's that linebacker that drops in the middle of that zone, and he has to get depth to protect the middle of the field with the 2 deep safeties.
So 3rd and 9, and don't you have a feeling for Miami? You saw that drive chart. They need to get something going again offensively after the solid start.
Yeah, and especially, you know, it's a 3rd quarter. They're going against the wind. They're going to get the win in the 4th quarter. I don't think Washington State is aligned properly here.
Kaya Check down, well short of the first down. So over the middle completes, and a big pop taken by Herb Waters. Louvu, the linebacker, and McClellan, the end, both hit Waters. Very slow getting up.
Ivan McClellan, number 3. And Frankie Louvu,
Another one of those drop-down throws by Brad Kaya. He's third and long and doubled up on the play. He catches it, does Waters, and he takes it from Louvu. The last hit was the one I think that did him in there.
Waters, the senior from Homestead, Florida. Third leading receiver for Miami. So as the training staff tends to Herb Waters after this hit from Louvu and McClellan, we step aside. 20-7, Cougars on the Canes. Waters steps up here in a 20-7 game. Let's go back to the targeting call earlier.
Yeah, we're going to go back here to show you because the last play was very close. Here's the targeting call and the ejection early in the game. Now, that's called a hit to the head to a defenseless player. Now, here's kind of the learning for if you're a Miami guy, you say, what's the difference, fan? Helmet to helmet, but the ball carrier is not considered defenseless, so it would have had to have been the crown of the helmet to get the targeting call, not just helmet to helmet.
So Rayshon Jenkins was ejected. That was right at the end of the first half. So he sits the rest of the game for Miami. Already shorthanded on defense. Punt down inside the 10 as Justin Vogel's comeback continues.
We want to thank Ron Hudson, our observer from the Big Ten, who's in the booth that helped us with that explanation. People who follow me regularly know I could have never done that by myself.
For more on Herb Waters, who took that last hit, let's check in with Allie.
Thanks, Carter. Waters is dealing with a jaw injury. He was feeling around the right side of his jaw, which seemed to be a little bit tender. The athletic training staff was having him bite down just to see how much pain he's in. We're still unsure if he'll return to this game, but they're still working on it. I'll let you know as soon as I know.
Thanks, Allie. Thanks, Allie. When we talk about the depth of Miami, remember the NCAA sanctions and scholarship reductions from a few years ago, so the roster, both sides, shorter than most teams. Morrow straight ahead, big hole for Jamal Morrow, rolling across the 35 for the Cougs. Finally, Burns makes a stop.
Yeah, just highlights that stat again. You know, for the Mike Leach offense, you don't need, in his style, a lot of them. Real nice. Danny Isadora, number 63, coming around and getting that key block. Excuse me, that's my fault on that one. Coming around the corner on that one, it was Eklund, number 63 for Washington State, coming around and getting a nice block on the play. But you don't need a lot, but just enough.
Washington State out rushing Miami.
And the plays are starting to go towards, we expected about 80 plays from Washington State, and that's about where they're on track right now.
Bach first and 10, delivers to Marks again, who takes a solid pop near the 50. Dion Bush hits Marks.
Yeah, Marks is such a veteran. He knows exactly when he's going to get hit and how he's going to get hit. Clamp on the short routes. He knows he's getting the ball and he protects himself. Watch after he catches it. He knows he's going to get it and he protects himself to live another day.
At midfield, screen on the near side. That's Morrow again with blockers ahead. Morrow picks up another first down. Bush finally makes a stop, pickup of 11.
Gunnar Eklund's going to give me another chance to get this one right. I did not get him the first time, but I'm going to get him this time. Number 63 is going to fold around and get the block on the screen. Watch him. He comes back and gets Kendrick Norton on the play. Boom, and that really, and then out in front, he gets Middleton with the block that Carter was talking about. 2 blocks, and that makes the screen go.
Falk over the middle, complete. That's John Thompson, the junior, makes the grab.
Carter, this is where it's really going to test the resolve of this Miami football team. When it's close, when things are going well, it's easy to really play hard. Now, scores going against you, frustrations building up a little bit. You had a guy knocked out of the game, on a targeting, and they're chipping away on you. It's almost like, and a great play to the outside that time.
Martin, and he is dropped immediately. Talking about tackling in space, that's McCord.
Yeah, absolutely. Tyreek McCord, number 17, takes on the blocker and makes the play at the same. Actually, just shoves right into him. John Thompson got beat on that one.
Landon Thompson with half the tackle there.
Yes, exactly. The back half.
11th different receiver that Luke Falk has completed a pass to. DeVoris Martin, a true freshman.
You know, interesting thing about Miami again here, as Washington State substitutes right there, Miami just doesn't have the bodies to substitute. Got nobody to come in.
6 passes, 11 different receivers. Wheel route incomplete. It was intended for Morrow, and there's Jermaine Grace, the junior linebacker, in coverage.
Well, that time the Miami coordinator D'Onofrio called more of a blitz man-to-man coverage and just challenged his team, and everybody manned up and forced a tough throw. But here we go.
4th down, Washington State 1 for 2 so far today. This will be the 39th time that Mike Leach calls the plays for Washington State. He's gone for it on 4th down.
And it looks like they're going to match up again and force man coverage again.
Falk on 4th and 6, almost picked. Intended on the outside for Robert Lewis. Corn Elder nearly got it.
The Colonel made the play. Had the slot and guessed on the out route, and he guessed right. He was betting that ball was going to the outside. He undercut it, and if the ball was thrown a little better, he might have had it. The Colonel.
Here they call him Elotes, and he nearly had a pick and another big play for the Canes. 20-7, Washington State on Miami. We send it down to Allie LaForce.
Thank you, Carter. There's no doubt that both of these teams made the most out of their visit to El Paso with all the enthusiasm in the world. Both teams arrived here in El Paso on Monday, and then on Wednesday, the teams got to tour Fort Bliss. They wanted to show their appreciation for the military, and the players said the best part was they got to ride the tanks. They got to drive them themselves. Also Thursday, both teams visited hospitals. Miami visited the Hospital of Providence Children's Hospital, and Demetrius Jackson took his $200 per diem and he used it to buy toys for these kids. Washington State visited the Children's Hospital of El Paso as well, and they both had an awesome time here in the city.
Allie, that's a great note.
It really is.
That's one of the awesome things you'll hear all bowl season.
Reverse.
Yes, on the reverse. This is Coley. The blocker on the edge. There is a flag down as Coley rolls across the 35. Coley takes it inside the 15, stepped out of bounds, but there's a flag all the way back behind the line of scrimmage.
I guess it was a block from behind. I'm not sure, but it was.
Personal foul. Legal block. Below the waist.
Place.
Offense. Number 73. 15-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Yeah. You're allowed to block below the waist at the line of scrimmage, but on a peel block, you just can't do it. Right there to the right side, and it is on Vio. He peels back, and then he throws low. Vio taps him on the head and going, I get it, you had to try it. And that is another penalty that takes, that's way more than the penalty yardage.
That's exactly right. I mean, it wipes out a 49-yard play. So, officially now it's 8 penalties against Miami, 88 yards. But that's not only, the yardage, but the way Miami has literally turned the corner offensively.
Well, 35, that's a 65-yard difference in field position on that play. I don't know if you need to make that block, but when you're on the field, you don't know that. Your perspective down there is, that's my man, and I got to make my block, and that's the way it goes sometimes. Just got to make it up higher.
Play action. Kaya on 1st and 25. Nice grab, ball loose. Scott again.
He's having trouble.
It's Scott who had the bobble in the end zone that went from a touchdown to an interception.
I hope, and after this game, Rashawn Scott doesn't hear me say the weather's not that bad, because he may beg to differ. He's had a tough time handling the weather here today. I don't know if it's his gloves or his concentration, but the senior has not had his best day.
So a couple of drops and the fumble there. Credit Pippins for the strip, but Scott gets back on top. Still picks up 10 yards.
There it is.
Kaya complete.
Oh, no.
No, Scott. I mean, he had him on the skinny post.
It's a beautiful, just a little bit of a technique on a card, a little bit of a square in on this one. Nice delay to the outside, square in, very similar to the one that Gabe caught earlier for Washington State. And boy, you just got to make that play. Kaya puts it up there right where Michael Irvin would have ate it up, right?
I think even the Cougar fans were rooting for Scott to haul that one in. I mean,
good point.
The day's gone so poorly for that fifth-year senior. So 3rd and 15. Kaya intended for Scott again. It's incomplete. Miami wants a flag. None coming.
Well, he sure didn't play the football on that one. Ball hangs just a bit. 3rd straight throw, and coming across, Taliulu gets there just as the ball does. I think it's a good no call. I really do.
I always say the defender has as much right to the football as the offensive player, but a frustrated Scott down on the Miami bench. It's going to need some pick-me-up from the teammates, coaches. That looked like Larry Scott over there. Yeah, you got to hang though. This is where the leadership has to come in. It's still a long football game. The play to be made may still be in front of you. Vogel hits it at the 20. Awesome lets it bounce at the 35. Miami scoops it up right around the 34-yard line. So the Cougars get it back with a 20-7 lead. 3:26 to go in the third. Next Saturday, part of that Hoops triple header. The Buckeye guy. That's right. Buckeyes got a big win over Kentucky at CBS. Give it to Keith Harrington. Redshirt freshman gets just a couple. Yeah, Jermaine Grace that time with the tackle, the inside linebacker, and that's an area of this defense for Miami that really has had to change. Injuries to Raphael Kirby, Darian Owens, two guys that with a lot of experience inside linebackers that this Miami team was forced to play without this year. Falk pressured on 2nd down, takes the sack to force 3rd and long as the Canes bring down Falk. Well, I got to give it to the Hurricane defense and football team. No backup. They're playing, they're finishing. The front 7, you saw it on the 1st down play, and hear that rush that Coach D'Onofrio said we can never slow down. If you get stymied, keep pushing. The key to the rush he felt in this game was not the quickness from the outside, but the push from the inside. And that was just showing up right there. Demetrius Jackson, who donated his per diem for kids' toys here in El Paso. Well, we'll see what Mike Leach wants to do on this one now. Let's see how tough he is. So 4th down, I mean. What are you saying? Yeah, I mean, the last two, they've gone for it on 4th down, in and downs and downs. Those are easier ones across the 50. This one on their side, here comes the punt unit. Especially the way Miami's not moving the ball. I think, you look at it and say, okay, they got us with a reverse. Can they move the ball in a normal way? So Sharmy on the punt. Miami has not scored since the opening possession, and discombobulated substitutions for Miami on the sideline. Well, they've got the right number of players out there, so maybe a bit of a panic burning a timeout on this situation, but they wanted to get it right. Carter, another good job by the officiating crew out there. Because Washington State sent their punt team in late, they were allowing Miami to substitute. There was no way Washington State could quick snap it. It's just Miami could not get the right look out there in time. They took a timeout. So rather than another penalty, which would have been the 9th on the Hurricanes, use the timeout. Went after him. Sharmy gets it away, the true freshman punter. Berrios backing up, dropped as soon as he grabs it. Boy, Berrios is nailed as soon as he gets it, and that is Teglovich who makes a stop. Well, they went for the punt block, so Berrios knew that he had no blocking. I'm surprised
You know, a fair catch is a much smarter play in that situation. Even if you catch it and you juke, you're not going to juke out 7 of them. Very dangerous play for Miami.
I mentioned before, Miami has not scored since the opening possession. It was an opening drive touchdown. Brad Kaya and the Canes. The second time they had it, a touchdown that should have been turned into an interception.
Yeah. Our guy is back out there.
Play action. Kaya pressure sack back at the 10.
Guess who?
Bayou.
I'm drafting that guy. I don't know when I'm going to draft him. I know this guy is going to be an impact player on the next level. You turn out, I didn't know anything about their defense. I knew after about 10 minutes that that guy could play.
That's 3 sacks today by the Washington State defense, and a group up front coached by Joe Salavea, 9 years in the NFL, played at Arizona. Dick Tomey, who was a pioneer in recruiting the Pacific Island.
Yeah, remember
players.
This was a young Miami line, and that's a first-time starter, Casey McDermott, that got beat on that play.
Flag down, free play, knocked away, intercepted for now. So it's picked off. The run back from McClennan is knocked out. And
it's going to come back, though. I think they're offsides, right?
Yep. Looked like a free play, offsides.
And I think, I wonder if Brad Kaya thought that and knew that and took a chance on the throw.
We talked about it, part of their offense.
Yes. Gamble on the play. I think it's number 99, Paulo, that's going to get it. Offsides, at least.
Wipe out McClennan, the rush in, dropping into coverage in the zone. Interception for now.
It's always dangerous doing this, though, because you don't know if he moved on offensive movement.
There are fouls on the play by both teams. During the return, illegal block below the waist on the return team, number 68. Prior to the interception, offsides, 99.
To wipe out the interception with offsides. Follow. We'll see what McGinn comes
Illegal
back.
block below the waist was against Miami. So the foul's offset. Replay, second down.
Okay. So 1 on Miami and then the offsides on Washington State.
I thought that sounded odd. That it was so 1 on each side. Replay it.
There's Joe Salavea, and you talk about the impact that he's had staying with Washington State when could have gone elsewhere.
He looks like he can play football too. How would you like to go up against him?
A legend in Pago Pago American Samoa. One of the reasons why Washington State is so successfully recruited as defensive linemen from American Samoa. Snow begins to fall again. We got a brief respite. Second and 19, ticking away in the third. Kaya inside give. Yubi. It's just a couple. Luvu. And we talked about from Pago Pago to Pullman, Washington. A pipeline.
A long pipeline. I mean, so much of a pipeline, these guys don't get to go home. 5,000 miles. I mean, you know, we got Miami playing against Washington State is probably the bowl matchup with the greatest distance of all the bowl games, as far as distance between the two teams. And then they come all the way down here to El Paso, and on top of that, the players for Washington State are coming from halfway across the ocean.
Kaya incomplete. It was intended for Scott again. Kaya took a pop, and he is slow getting up. It's Palacio who delivers the shot to Brad Kaya on the final play of the third quarter.
Yeah, nothing really. Oh, and it might have been tipped on the play. Not that was, can't call that one a drop, but as he let it go, he's going to get hit by Palacio just at the let it go again. He's taking a beating now as this game has gone on and on.
End of the third quarter, 20-7, Washington State on Miami. We'll return to El Paso right after this message and a word from your local station. Now the snow is picking up as we head to the fourth quarter here in the 82nd Hyundai Sun Bowl. 20-7, Washington State on Miami. No scoring in the third, and we begin the fourth quarter with a punt. It's been a nice comeback from Vogel after a rough first half in the punt game.
And now he's got the wind. Let's see if he can get one rooted out of here.
It's at near the 2. With the wind backing up to 35. That's Fossum, who throws it in reverse. He's going to be wrestled down near the 26-yard line. So Fossum backed up. Start of the fourth quarter. Flag down. We'll check that here in a moment. All right, so 5 years ago was Miami in the snow when they lose the game here in El Paso.
During a return, legal block in the back. Return team, number 12. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run.
So a 20-7 game now. It's snowing again. What's the hope now for Miami in the fourth?
I think if the Miami offense can step it up like the Miami defense, you know, they are self-inflicted. A lot of these ruins, dropping the ball, penalties, you know, easy sacks. They got to play their football the way they know they can. Get to it. They got the win now, and you know, a turnover might help a little bit, by the way, as well. But I think the Miami defense has stepped up. It's the problem is the Washington State defensive line has been a big difference in this third quarter of this game.
Turnover each side. Falk incomplete. Well, nearly got one there. So remember at halftime when we talked about the weather and, you know, who was really getting a kick out of this, and we said Vern, but also Nancy.
Yes.
I think enjoying the fact that, Christmas break. So your guess was Pinot. I guess it would maybe more Chardonnay there, looking good in Colorado.
And the snow looks a little better there than it does here, doesn't it?
Vern, an all-around legend and a Sun Bowl legend. So yeah, well deserved that glass.
Well, Carter's doing a great job, but we still miss Vern, right?
Yes, exactly. And yeah, maybe there'll be a glass after this one as well.
Yeah, I'm sure there will.
I think perhaps to warm up. We'll see. I mean, oh, by the way, speaking of Mike Leach and this return to Texas, Mike Leach said he used to recruit in the Texas Tech days. They would recruit around the fact that they could go to the Saxon Pub on Thursday night to see Rusty Weir when they came through Austin. They would set their scheduling up through that. So, Falk complete. That's Marks short of the first down.
Yeah, but 3rd and 10, and the long punt and the penalty at the end of the punt has now created. There's no way they go for this, do they? Not even Mike Leach goes for this. Not even Les Miles goes for this.
Can't chew on this grass.
Oh, will he?
Let's see. So far today, 1 for 3 on fourth down conversions. Now the offense is going to stay out there. Here's the gutsy call. 4th and 2 with a 20-7 lead. So Falk into heavy snow now. Looking into the win on 4th and 2, and now going to try and draw him off. 3 seconds to, and Miami does not jump.
They didn't jump because they couldn't see him. There's too much snow out there. What are they going to do? I don't know.
Well, we'll see what Washington State does on 4th down after the timeout.
For our Geico game recap.
Fast start for both offenses. Falk was perfect on the first drive. Hit Jamal Morrow for a 31-yard touchdown reception to get it started for the Cougars. But Brad Kaya and the Canes had an answer on their first possession. Coley with a 4-yard grab. That's the last time Miami has scored in the game. Powell, 30-yard field goal to give Washington State a 10-7 lead at that point. And then Falk's second touchdown. This one goes to Gabe Marks from 25. Washington State gets another field goal just before the half from Eric Powell, 20-7. A scoreless third quarter, and now in the fourth with the snow. I mean, this is bordering on blizzard now.
Yeah. And remember, Miami came close last time to blocking it. Let's see if they do it again or they go return. They go return.
Out of the timeout, Sharmy hits it at the 15. Barrios Backs up, makes the fair catch at 35. And in the snow, here's Allie LaForce.
Carter, you mentioned Vern being a Sun Bowl legend. I think this guy is a Sun Bowl legend, or at least he should be, after this performance with no shirt the entire game. Rain, sleet, snow, you name it. This guy is a dedicated fan. What is your name?
I'm Ben. Nice to meet you.
Ben, who put you up to this, and what are you winning in this bet?
Oh, nobody put me up to this. It's a beautiful day out, and I just want to come cheer on my Cougs.
He's the legend. How much do you love this team?
Oh, I've been here for all these games. Might as well come back for another one. Beautiful day out. Let's go, Cougs!
Go! Well, I no longer will complain about being cold.
No. Allie, please tell me he's not a graduate of the school.
It's when the sombrero really comes into place. Berrios off the Wildcat. Berrios is going to take it inside the 20. Stiff arm, rolls inside the 10. So a Wildcat look from Miami, and Berrios breaks it for 60.
There it is. Inside handoff, Coley. Berrios makes one miss. This time there's no penalties on the play. Remember the last time on first down they had the reverse. So you see what James Coley is pulling out the stops.
Walton straight ahead, touchdown.
The point's right there. They've had a reverse called back, and then they do basically a jet sweep from the Wildcat and catch Washington State flat-footed. Quick snap, give it to him, and into the end zone.
Berrios picks up 60, and then Walton takes it in, and Miami right back in it. 20-13 in the fourth.
20-13, hanging in there, and no just lay down this time for this Miami team. You know, I got to give credit to the whole coaching staff for this, and let's give credit to Al Golden for recruiting these type of players that are in this program to win it and show up for the pride of the Canes.
Interim head coach Larry Scott said you got to respond to adversity.
And no matter what the situation, you got to come out and win. First down, you hand it off. Berrios tried it on punt returns. He didn't get it, but on the jet sweep, he almost puts it in. And then right after it, good block by Casey McDermott to open the hole. He gave up the sack, but not there.
Miami in El Paso for a bowl game in snow. It's becoming a tradition in its own right with the 2015 version. Fighting back. Coming up, we'll have our play of the game presented by Napa Auto Parts. '87 in West Virginia and Oklahoma State. I mean, this was, Gary, you talked about that game 5 years ago about how the snow kind of let up after it was thick before the game. This is going the other way.
This is a little different.
DeLay just getting his kickoff. So Cimarine will kick it off after the Miami touchdown in a hurry. First points of the second half for either team. Let's just go ahead and call it a blizzard now, settling in.
This qualifies for a blizzard in Michigan, where I grew up.
Kick goes out of bounds. That'll put it at the 35.
Well, now it's Washington State's turn. They've been stopped twice on downs.
The 35-yard line
twice
on the right hash.
Can they find a rhythm? It really looks like the safeties, even though they've lost one, Jenkins, it looks like the safeties, Bush and Crawford, are really breaking on the ball and giving this offense for Washington State problems.
Short-handed Miami defense. Jamal Carter was sent home, violation of team rules. Rayshawn Jenkins, both those players safeties. Jenkins ejected in the first half for targeting.
And Jaquan Johnson is the safety in the game.
Harrington takes the handoff a couple yards. We're going to check in for another update from Allie.
Gary, I did some follow-up work for you, and our shirtless Brave fan is a 2010 graduate of Washington State. And he said, just so you know, I am now working as a professional engineer. So he might be crazy, but he's also very smart, apparently.
Well, he's got the job already, so that's not going to influence any potential interviews, I don't think.
The lesson there, Don't judge a book by the cover, right?
Falk zips it complete. I guarantee you our pal Maynard Haddad from H&H Car Wash and Coffee Shop, guarantee you he's still in the Sun Bowl. He waited out a lightning delay to UTEP game a few years ago.
Nice delivery right there by Luke Falk. That's the type of, the touch passes seem to be giving him problems. He needs to step into his throws and get rid of the ball quick.
Falk, the sophomore from Logan, Utah, the former walk-on. Quarterbacking the Cougars.
Watch out.
Feels the pressure, leaves it incomplete, intended for Morrow.
Oh, these highlight packages look like they're from different games. But trust us, this was earlier in the game. No snow, and Falk got off with a quick start. Had that ball humming. Second half, made a good throw, but that's been about it. One down the sideline, and everything else, the Miami defenders have been playing zone, facing the quarterback, and breaking on the throw. Very effective defense.
Trust us, it was sunny and lovely and warm the last couple of days in El Paso. This weather rolled in right before kickoff, and it is snowing its heaviest now as Morrow takes that handoff to the 50. This is that system coming in from the west. We were hoping it would hold off until the end of this game, and that has not happened. So a snowy day after Christmas here in El Paso. Boy, you talk about gut check time. It was gut check time going in, and certainly now in the fourth. Falk and the Cougars facing 3rd and 5. Washington State has not scored in the second half. From the 45, incomplete.
Remember, Carter, we talked early in the game about the key for Miami. Now, the weather's helping a little bit. They were going to throw the ball roughly 50 times. They're at 49 right now, and I said the Miami number was 300 yards. They're on mark for that, and that's why they're in this football game. Now, the weather is helping, no doubt about that, but this is the type, when they're going to throw the ball that many times, that's what you got to get it. You got to get it a 6 yards per attempt average.
And going in, you're going to give up big passing numbers no matter what.
Or at least completions. You want to avoid the big ones, but you know they're going to complete passes on it.
So Charmy punts. Berrios, who had the big 60-yard run.
Not a good one.
Short.
If you don't hit the ball as a punter purely against the wind, it just slides off and goes out of bounds.
So we'll see where they mark it out. Looks like around the 27s where they mark it out. That's a 23-yard punt from Charmy. Well, the Miami they're not used to this, but they're having fun with it. Oh, this is why you come to a bowl game, right?
She's catching snowflakes.
After our game, Washington State, Miami, here at the Sun Bowl. You know, tradition used to be for CBS around the Sun Bowl, it was New Year's in El Paso. That might still be the case for our crew.
Yeah, very good. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
You got a car. You're driving.
Right. That's exactly right. You know, not tonight. That's solidified now. Yeah, prior to kickoff. So kickoff was noon Mountain Time. So, I mean, it was, like I said, sunny and chilly, but nice.
It's heading the wrong direction.
Yeah, it's gone from rain/snow to
and
just
it's heading the wrong direction
snow.
Now for this Washington State team. Miami has found their second wind here.
Yearby is going to take it again on first down. Yearby, the sophomore from Miami Central, tackled by Allison.
Yeah, if you're Alex Grinch, though, the coordinator for Washington State, you bring your defense over and say, all right, they gashed us on a one play. Let's not lose focus of what we were doing. We've been affected with it. They hit us on a sweep, a jet sweep out of Wildcat. Let's just play our defense. We're fine.
Off that Wildcat look. So Kaya back in a quarterback. The true sophomore from Los Angeles, Chaminade College Prep. All the way from LA to Miami. One of his mantras has been, I didn't come all this way to give in when there was adversity. Takes the sack, Kaya does, but hangs on to the football as Daryl Paulo from Sacramento gets the sack.
Well, Paulo was in the game, Vio was in the game, Equale was in the game. All three of the Samoans there making their presence felt. You get two of them, and the third guy gets you.
Forcing Miami now into 3rd and 15. Just 2 for 11 now on 3rd down for the Canes.
Yeah, and everybody knew this was going to be the part of the team that Miami had to worry about. Their offensive line, they did not have much returning.
Kaya pressured again, flag down, pass is incomplete. Check the flag. McClellan with the pressure.
This time it was only a 3-man rush. They spied on the play.
Holding. Offense. Number 73. Penalties decline. 4th down.
Yeah, they held on Ivan McClellan. McClellan still got in there on the play.
As you said, that matchup between the Washington State defensive line and Miami offensive line favoring the Cougars.
Yeah, and remember, Miami lost their normal starting tackle for the game to begin with, and they were young, ranked 121st in the country in returning starters back to this team. So they've done fairly well with this young offensive line. They all return next year. None of the 10 offensive linemen for Miami will be leaving as Mark Richt remakes this football team a year from now.
Vogel the punt. Hits it around the 10. Fossum backs up, makes the grab as special teams gets tougher with the snow and the wind. Now Washington State hasn't scored in the second half, but they have the lead at 20-14 in the 4th. Sebastian is not used to snowball fights, but I think he's picking some. Yeah, always picking some with some Cougar fans. That's draws a 15-yarder on the mascot. Block 1st and 10, incomplete, almost picked again. Oh, amazing, Gary, you pointed out Miami hasn't won a bowl game since the 2006 MPC Computers Bowl, as it was then known in Boise. Larry Coker's last game.
Coker's last coach.
Canes head coach. That's amazing. I mean, it's now 5 straight bowl losses for Miami.
Yeah, and they have gone through a lot. You mentioned it. The penalties against the program really has caught them there. This was the year, the transition year, where they finally caught up.
Ball complete to the 35.
Look at that closing speed by those linebackers and safeties for Miami. That's been the story of the second half.
Young, solid tackle. That bowl drought back to 2006. I mean, the Miami fans are well accustomed to all of these droughts. Hadn't have a conference title since the Big East days. They haven't played in an ACC championships. They haven't won their division. Lost 5 straight bowl games. They'll have to come from behind in the second half to get it done here in the snow in El Paso.
Again,
almost. I mean, should have been picked.
Volk is having trouble now getting over the top of the ball. Everything's sailing on him. He's had maybe 6 of these throws that have just come out of his hand and gone high. Throwing the ball leads him. No chance to get the ball to Don Williams on that play. If that would have been led inside, I think he would have had a chance for it. He's not getting a good grip on the football at all.
4 for his last 12, Luke Falk, after starting the game perfect 5 for 5.
And he's, what, a 70-some% passer for the year.
So Miami will get it back. Charmy gets away the punt. Better this time. Barrios going to let it roll. Upset with himself, but it didn't roll too far.
No, it kind of stopped, didn't it?
An extra 5 yards to near the 20. So Miami gets the football down 6, 8:22 to go.
Let's go, defense!
The current weather here in El Paso, 35. Miami, 79.
That's cruel. This is cruel.
And how about Pago, 83 degrees. So, yeah, so the guys...
What's it like in New York? It's got to be 65 degrees in New York.
Yeah, it's warmer in New York, guarantee. Guarantee, yeah, for the Sun Bowl.
Well, if I'm, one of the traditions of Miami football is the football players themselves, the alumni, take part in continuing to reach into the program, send texts and tweets and comments on their team. Oh, it's going to be a pass.
Here's Berrios off the Wildcat. 60 yards the last time they tried it. He was looking to throw it,
yes,
but
he was. Good defense that time. Defended very well. I think it was Pippins, Marcellus Pippins to the outside, number 27, that stayed with his man. Nowhere to go with the football. Good defense by Washington State. But I have to say, if I'm a Miami football player, I'm tweeting in a lot of respect for these players today. I text these guys like, listen, guys, I'm proud of you. Proud of you the way you hung in there and fought in this football game. And I think that's really what the Miami players want. They want guys that play hard. That's really what they're asking from their players.
Kaya back in at quarterback, gives it to Walton. Room on the left side. Walton down to 29. You think about these seniors for Miami. I mean, you commit in the midst of the sanctions and go through the coaching change. Now Al Gold fired after the 58-0 loss to Clemson, and you rally, get to a bowl game, and now try to fight through it again. Just 2 for 12 third down conversions. This 3rd and 3 coming up for Kaya and the Canes. Out of the shotgun, Kaya completes. It's Scott who holds it in. Scott converts on 3rd down in traffic. And a long day for Rashawn Scott, but he makes the grab here.
We used to call this a lock comeback. When you have man-to-man coverage, don't let them force you into a fade. Stay with it. Even though you got bump and run coverage, don't take the easy way out and run the fade and make a tough throw. Run the comeback into the lock, bump and run coverage. And finally, our guy makes a big play. Rashawn Scott makes the first down.
Scott, who missed most of the past 2 years with shoulder injury, came back for his senior year. One of those 50-year seniors who've been through so much in their Miami careers. He's been through a lot today. With the drop in the end zone that turned into the interception, and he's had a couple more. But Scott hauls it in to keep this drive going for Miami. 6:20, 4th quarter, down a touchdown. They're capable.
They are, and remember the pressure that Washington State is feeling too. They haven't won a bowl game in a while as well.
Exactly right, since 2003, at the end of that great run. Their last bowl win was 2003 over 5th-ranked Texas. And they won 10 games in 3 straight years. To the outside, Herb Waters.
There's Brad Kaya reading his technique and knowing exactly where he wants to go with the ball again. He sees an inside man-to-man technique to the bottom of the screen, left side of the screen, excuse me, delivers it, and he has an easy pitch and catch. Right from the start, he walked up there and he saw it. He saw he had a defender on the inside, Darian Moulton, and just chucked it over there for an easy pitch and catch. He's really impressive when he's running this offense under control.
Kaya, time to throw. Deep shot. It's Scott who holds it in inside the 10. Rashawn Scott, redemption.
Darian Moulton, number 22 in coverage.
Last time they stuck with it, top of the screen. This time he ran a slight hitch and go. The ball was up. He went up and got it. And remember his teammates going over there and saying, hang in the game. It's a long game.
1st and goal to the outside. Touchdown, Miami. There is a flag down as Coley slides into the end zone to tie it for now.
Went unbalanced. I think this was a legal formation. I think it's going to hold up and be a touchdown. I think they were legal.
Block in the back.
Oh.
Offense, number 6. 10-yard penalty. Replay, 1st down.
Miami went unbalanced on the play. I thought that they were what they were talking about. Herb Waters is the guy that was called number 6. Let's see if we can see it. Now, right at the end, the shove right at the end. Extended hand on the play, and that was the call. Really didn't even need to do it.
was already a touchdown.
Left side just at the end. Yes, good call, and that's the correct call.
Wipe out the touchdown, 1st and goal from the 11. Kaya from the gun again. Check down inside the 10. That's Scott who takes it to the 5. Darian Moulton makes the tackle to save the touchdown.
Njoku, number 86, gave the little rub down near the goal line that time that really freed it up.
Prior to 2nd and goal.
Officials timeout for an injured player.
Watching Njoku right here really create the rub right off the umpire and allows the crosser to come underneath it, forces the defender to go wide enough to make a positive play. Great lesson as we look as the player for Washington State, actually Moulton, who's been actually the guy that's been picked on most of this drive right here going off. But a great lesson for all of us. You know, you struggle early in the game. Actually a great lesson for coaches too. You don't give up on a guy. You let him have a chance. He's one of your players. He got you here. Let him finish the game.
We talked about Scott and the injuries last couple of years. Kai has been perfect on the drive, but he's a guy who had to fight to get back on the field after those shoulder injuries.
Yep.
And 5th-year senior and embodying the heart of this Miami team through the adversity.
Well, James Coley, the offensive coordinator, when we visited with him yesterday, Carter, did predict that we were going to lean on Rashawn Scott a lot in this football game. Get a lot of man-to-man coverage to the weak side of the formation, and we expected him to win.
2nd and goal. Walton pushing, didn't get much. 3rd and goal from just inside the 5.
Ball out?
Now Washington State thinks that they have it, and they do. Cougar football inside the 5.
I don't know. This has got to be obviously going to be reviewed. Walton kept fighting and fighting and fighting. One rolls off again, and at that point, Washington State turned the ball. I do not see it come out. Did you see it? You got a bigger monitor than I do. You see it? You got Vern's monitor.
That's exactly. Thank you, Vern. I mean, good luck getting a clear picture from some kind of replay as well.
Well, you could see right at the end, number 27, Marcellus Pippin sees the ball on the ground and dives in there, and that's before Walton went down. There, it's out. It's out. Yes, it is. Very clearly out on the play before he was down, and that one will hold.
And Pippin's going to get on top of it.
I'll try to circle it for you. Right here it comes out. There it is. There's ball, loose ball right there. Bounces around. And the first guy to see it was Pippins, and I don't know if he ended up with it. Was he the guy that ended up with it?
Yes, he
Pippins.
did. And Barber, looks like Barber stripped it free, and then Pippins got on top of it.
Yep.
So 4:30, Cougars take over inside their own 5. It's Morrow. It's a couple.
And remember, 2 big penalties led to a field goal at the end of the half, and a penalty overturned a touchdown right there.
Holding. Offense, number 61. Half the distance to the goal, replay 1st down.
Miami was in the end zone, wiped out because of the penalty, and then they give it right back to the Cougars.
9 penalties for almost 100 yards. And the last one was the one where they probably have the lead in this football game, tying it up with a chance for an extra point to go for the lead. But
now Washington State backed up 1st and 12, so they have to snap it from their own 2 in the end zone.
Interesting that they took that penalty. I don't know what that did for them. They give Washington State an extra down.
Morrow straight ahead, so out of the end zone. Morrow gets back to near the 5.
Yeah, ended up being about the same, but well, that was one you might think about declining in that situation.
3:54 to go. Washington State has not scored in the second half. We've had only 1 score in the second half. That touchdown from Miami. It's been it.
And that was basically a 1-play drive.
60-yard run from Berrios leading to the touchdown. Blocked from his end zone, 2nd and 8. At the goal line, it's tipped, almost picked incomplete, intended for Thompson.
Was it Deion Bush this time that guessed again? He is really good at this. He sits back in his safety position and almost plays a robber. He feels it, crosses, cuts in front, and I thought he had that one that time.
I think he did too.
I think, and if it wouldn't have been a collection by Thompson, that might have been what saved the interception.
Thompson slow getting up. 3rd and 8 for the Cougars. Coming up. John Thompson on the Washington State sideline, banged up on that last play. Let's take a look.
Yeah, Deion Bush right here sitting in this bit of a robber position. He's right there with the spotlight on him. Watch as the crossing slot to his side goes away. It frees him up. He starts looking at Falk, and he's just zooming in on that interception on that play. And without a collision, this could have been obviously a different look. I think for about the 3rd time in this game, he thought he had an interception. And, you know, Luke Falk in the second half has thrown maybe 3 good balls. It's a dangerous situation for him.
3rd and 8, he's going to throw it from near the goal line. Out of the end zone, hit as he throws. Falk, it is incomplete.
Yep. And he got, as you mentioned, Coach D'Onofrio took an extra player, brought a 5th rusher on that play, zone blitzed him, got rid of it. It was a good thing it was high because Deion Bush again was there for the interception. If it would have been a perfect throw on the line, he would have picked that one off.
Falk 1 for his last 7. So with 3 and out, Washington State gets the takeaway inside the Miami 5 after the Canes touchdown was called back. But a 3 and out, and now a dangerous spot for Zach Charmy, punting out of the back of his own end zone.
Well, they're going to come after this one, I'll tell you. Nope. Stay with it.
Charmy gets it away. Berrios backing up, grabs it at the 49. Berrios with the seam, takes it across the 35 inside the 30. And with 3:13, Miami down by 6. They have it inside the Cougar 30-yard line.
It's never cold when you have a chance to win a football game.
42-yard punt, 21-yard return.
Remember last time Miami had the ball, Kaya drove him all the way down here. Good call. Going to stick it into the end zone, but Herb Waters at the end of it, a little shove, and maybe unnecessary shove. I don't know if the guy would have made the tackle or not, but on the very next play, fumbled and the other way. Now it's 4-down territory. Everybody on the field knows it.
Miami looking for their first bowl win since 2006, so they pull out the trick, and it does not work out. Picked off the pass from Yerby. Luani has it, and Shalom Luani gets a block on the outside, rolling across the 50. So the trick play toss from Yerby ends up in an interception. There are flags down.
Well, the weather really caused this one. James Coley went with his 3rd trick play in a row on 1st down. Halfback pass. Yerby has it slip out of his hand, and Shalom Luani, the guy who clinched the game against Oregon with an interception, may have clinched the Sun Bowl for Washington State. Going to have another block. It looks like it's going to come back away.
During the return of the interception, little block in the back on the return team, number 92. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. 1st down.
Well, that's a big penalty. With this kind of weather into the wind, it gives the Miami defense hope that with another stop, Kaya can get the football back. Luani, the Samoan soccer player, comes up with the interception. This one was an easy one, though. I thought he had him. The play was set up, but it slipped right out of his hand.
For Yerby, sophomore, who went over 1,000 rushing yards in this game, just the 10th time that has happened for a Miami back, but it does not end well when he tries to throw it.
I can't blame anyone. You know, I mean, James Coley has called a lot of good plays for big plays, but on the last drive, Brad Kaya was in complete control of the offense, and he let his halfback throw instead of his quarterback.
In 3 years since Washington State has been shut out in the second half.
Oh, and that's a tough timeout for Miami.
Timeout. Miami, 2nd of the half.
Oh,
Be a 30-second charge.
Boy, that hurts.
Timeout.
That's a lack. They must only have 10 players out there.
20-14, Washington State looking for their first bowl win since 2003. 2:58 to go here in snowy El Paso. Timeout Miami, a defensive timeout, and you see defensive coordinator Mark D'Onofrio upset. Let's take a look.
It was Deion Bush who called the timeout right here. Now, in our count, we thought he had 11 on the field. Deion Bush did not feel that way. And after he calls the timeout, he's confused. I thought they had the 11. There were only 9 in the picture, and I think we were missing the look of the other safety and the cornerback. They're aligned exactly the way they are now.
Only one timeout left for Miami. Morrow takes it across the 15 through the Canes for a first down to the 20.
Well, this will be tough for Miami. Luke Folk is struggling throwing the football in this weather. The worst rushing team in all of college football. Can they get a couple of first downs here to put the ball game away?
Because that defensive timeout, only one chance to stop the clock for the Canes.
Let it go down. Let it go down. It's got to get to 5, at least 5. And Falk is doing exactly that. You know, Carter, we kept talking. It is true that he walked in at Washington State, but in his junior year, he was offered a scholarship at Florida State to play quarterback. It was a little bit of him transferring around in high school that caused him to kind of lose track of the scholarships. This is not your normal walk-on. This is a guy that was recruited in parts of his career. You can tell the type of talent he has. Hasn't quite had the game we're used to seeing in this weather.
It took until 1:53 in regulation for me to mention this, but he, big believer in essential oils, including frankincense, before every offensive drive. So the day after Christmas.
I don't know what that means, but it's a very good story.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe if it's wise.
Oh, wise. I got you. There you go. We're 1-1 on those stories,
Falk on 2nd and 7 as Washington State tries to close out. Falk holds it, slides, first down.
And that should be a ball game. Both, ironically, both Miami and Washington State all year have struggled with running quarterbacks. Now, neither one of these quarterbacks are runners, but that one right there iced the football game.
Washington State first winning season since 2003. The end of the 30 wins in 3 years run. Less than a minute to go, they begin to celebrate with Miami only one timeout left.
Look how they take a knee. They don't even go under center to take a knee.
Wow.
And for a team that had a disaster to end the year against Washington and a disaster to begin the year against Portland State, and I tell you what, had they not beat Rutgers, who knows what this season would have looked like when they nosed that out, are going to win a bowl game against Miami.
That's the first bowl win since the 2003 Holiday Bowl over 5th-ranked Texas. Bill Dobbs' Cougars came from behind to win. Washington State didn't play in another bowl game until last year's. It was a couple years ago, the New Mexico Bowl, but that was the last winning season. Was that 2003, and this will be the first bowl win since that season. Our Napa plays of the game. The last 2 turnovers.
Yeah, Miami will remember this. They just got done scoring a touchdown, and then they drop it, get a good stop. Remember, Miami could have intercepted a couple of plays, and then on a halfback pass, turnovers on almost back-to-back plays for Miami.
Well, for the Washington State fans, there is a lot of optimism. I mean, the last time they came to the Sun Bowl, and next year they rallied and went to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
So, you know, a Sun Bowl, who knows? Maybe special things ahead in 2016 for Washington State. A very
wet,
chilly
and Gatorade, and the only guy colder than that guy is Mike Leach right now. You got the Gatorade bath.
Oh, does he look happy about that? Oh. Yikes. Get a hot shower, Coach Leach. Well, and for Miami and interim head coach Larry Scott, through the adversity, no question the Canes fought all the way through this one.
Well, Miami has a lot of good football players returning. Let's see if they can take the next step. But you're right, Washington State, a lot of quality wins this year. And can he keep it going? That's the question.
So for Gary Danielson, Allie LaForce, I'm Carter Blackburn saying so long from snowy El Paso, where Washington State celebrates a Sun Bowl win 20-14 over the Miami Hurricanes. A Ram postgame show is coming up next. Washington State wins a bowl game for the first time since 2003. They do it over Miami. Through all the snow and all the adversity, we'll send you to the Ram postgame show after these messages.
Miami 20-14, their first bowl win since 2003, despite not scoring in the second half. As I'm joined by Houston Nutt and Brian Jones, Mike Leach pulls it out.
Yeah, he did, and Miami helped quite a bit. I mean, it was self-destruction. You had penalties a ton in the first half and throughout the ball game, but the turnovers in the fourth quarter. Joseph Yearby, you got to hold on to the rock, especially when you get close to the end zone. He doesn't do it here, and then, Coach, I don't understand this play. You've got it there close to the red zone, and you go for a little trickeration. Yearby short with the pass. The receiver was open, but I question the play call in that situation.
You just got to win the turnover margins right here, and you got to give Coach Leach a lot of credit all year long. Coach Leach, Falk, they have been on the same page. But I want to say something about Larry Scott real quick.
Sure.
I think he's done an outstanding job to take over a program like this. All the players in unison have said he kept us together. Yep. And when you keep a team together, especially when you lose your coach, it's a very difficult situation because assistants, players, everybody starts looking who's going to be my coach? Who's going to be the next coach?
You could lose him easily.
You could lose him. So he's done a good job and to get him to a bowl game.
They had won 4 out of 5 coming in. We'll see what happens.